Hi everyone, and welcome to this presentation of my 6-step progressive approach to overcoming stuttering in adults. My name is Olga Bednarski, and today I would like to present to you my approach in more details, and hopefully by watching this video you'll be able to understand as to how the process of overcoming stuttering takes place and what is involved in it. So here is my model that took me a number of years to develop, to crystallize in the way it is presented to you today. There are 6 steps involved in overcoming stuttering, and I'm going to talk you through each of the steps today. So please pay attention, and if you do have any questions, you can always email me and ask for clarification. So let's have a look at step number 1. Step number 1 is typically when people experience out of control stuttering. They don't see any way of controlling it. They struggle, they suffer daily. And typically at this stage, they say, as it seems to them, that stuttering just happens. There is no way to control it, and therefore it must be some kind of an exotic genetic condition that cannot be overcome. But let me suggest for a second here that once you know how the process of stuttering works, when you know the anatomy of your own version of stuttering, when you see exactly what you do that contributes to anxiety and the struggle, you have the keys right there in your hands, because you will start making new choices, and new choices inevitably will lead you to completely different results. If you continue being stuck, making old results, then you will continue receiving the old results. So once we become aware, awareness gives us freedom. Unawareness keeps us locked in our little box of unconsciousness. I believe that most human problems, especially emotional ones, but not only emotional ones, come from the fact that we are unaware, that is, clueless, as to how we actually ourselves contribute to our own misery. But once we become aware, life begins to truly change. Inevitably, it changes because you see, because you can now notice it, and therefore you are given the opportunity to change. And started speech, I look at it as if it is an experience that people unconsciously, without knowing, recreate and reinforce and maintain. And all of this happens until you become aware. The problem continues to plague your life until you are unaware as to what's going on. But the moment you become aware as to what exactly do you do that contributes to your anxiety and struggle, you are given the choice to change it, to consciously change it. So unawareness you still create, but you create struggle, misery, and suffering. You are the creator, but when you are blindfolded, you create problems. So how do you go from being unaware to becoming aware, to becoming conscious creator of flow? And one of the simplest tools I suggest is intentional observation, intentional noticing, ability to notice changes the game. Usually, people who stutter run on default automatic programs, making the default automatic choices, responding in the old way, automatically, mindlessly. But once you begin to consciously observe, intentionally observe, you begin to see, you begin to grasp as to how you create the experience of stuttering, the experience of struggle. And also, I like to complement observation with knowledge therapy. And why? Because I see that there are still lots of misconceptions as to what stuttering is. And I believe that those misconceptions lead people astray. They complicate the issue to the point that it looks absolutely unsolvable, which is not the case once you understand the problem and once you begin to reverse the process. That is, instead of making old choices and creating struggle, you start to make new choices and create new reality, new experiences for yourself. So observation is your master tool in this journey towards freedom. Let's move on to point number 3. So awareness. This is when you become aware. This is when you know. This is when you see exactly as to what do you do that contributes to the struggle. And at this point, you also begin to see what you in fact should be doing to allow yourself to experience more flow, more composure, more inner peace with yourself, first of all, and then as the result of those, fluency of your speech, natural fluency, not forced in any way, but natural flow of speaking. Also, when you are aware, as I say, comes the clarity as to what you should from now on be doing. You become more alert, more present, and with clarity, with understanding, you also begin to finally trust yourself that you can indeed speak fluently. You can indeed come across as composed and confident individual in whatever situation you find yourself in. And you can also self-regulate. You can regulate your emotions and your feelings to intentionally cultivate flow and maintain it. The ability to maintain it is also one of the most important ingredients. And knowing you can, you see, it's not hoping you can, it's not believing you can, it's knowing you can based on your empirical, that is practical observations that are based on your daily life, daily experiences of interacting with others. It's not some theory from a book. Everything comes from your personal experience, not from a book. So one point you mentioned here is that my approach is very practical. From day one, there will be practice, very natural tools and concepts that I'm sharing with my students to help you position yourself in the right track right from the start. Okay, so as you become more aware and you finally grasp what it is you do, what it is you should be doing to create flow, to manage your emotions. So you start making new choices bit by bit, daily little choices. You make new choices, big and small, but they are new choices. You come to stage number 4, where you become the conscious creator of your flow. At this stage, you feel truly in control. And when I say control, I don't imply forced kind of control where you have to use stilted, artificial, unnatural techniques. None of that stuff. True control comes from knowing yourself, knowing how you create the struggle. And once you learn this, once you see this in your own daily practice, it is impossible to unlearn what you know. It is absolutely impossible. And you also understand at this stage what you should be doing instead, not to run into troubles, not to hit the turbulence. This is what gives you control. It comes from knowing that you can and knowing how to do it as well. This is the type of control that I'm talking about. And I have to be honest with you guys here. My approach is very practical. It's kind of like learning a new skill, like learning to drive a car. And every now and then you might have days which are turbulent. You might experience turbulence. But guess what? Because of your knowledge, because you feel in charge and in control, it is not possible for you at this stage to go back to square one or hit this point where you feel desperation and hopelessness. None of that stuff, because you will know exactly what to do to self-correct. Even as you are going through different situations, you will know how to course correct. You will know how to course correct and steer yourself out of turbulence gently, compassionately, lovingly, out of turbulence. And also, the conscious creator of flow, you stop being a victim. That mentality of a victim to whom things just happen, stuttering just happens, it just kind of doesn't make any sense to you anymore. So you leave it behind, you naturally leave it behind, and the process becomes more and more exciting for you because new choices, they inevitably will open up new opportunities for you. You will discover a lot of new things about yourself. Some aspects of your personality that used to be suppressed and hidden now, kind of you developing courage to open up more, to show your true light more, to shine more. So no longer a victim, you're able to course correct in case when you feel there is turbulence coming, you will know exactly what to do, how to course correct based on your daily experiences, not on a theory from a book, but from your personal experience. You are in charge, you are in control, you have nothing to be afraid of. And I know every now and then I see these questions people ask, when I improve, I'm afraid of losing my fluency. This fear, this anxiety comes because you don't know how the anatomy of your speech works, the anatomy of flow in this case. And of course, you have this anxiety because it's kind of this fluency is so fleeting, it comes and goes. It comes and goes only to the point where you don't know how it has been created in the first place. But once you know, there is nothing to fear anymore because you are indeed in charge. You are in control. You become the master, if you like, of your own speech. And for most people who start a fluency, has always been there. It has never disappeared. It was just kind of deactivated. It was cluttered with all those behaviors that you have absorbed over the years. So my mission is to help you unlock what is already there, what you already have, and help you to open up, help you to shine. So as you going up this mountain, towards life where flow is a lived daily experience, you come to stage 5, which is consistent application. What I would like to say here is that application actually starts from stage 1. But I put it here just to emphasize that application, consistent application, is a very critical step. It cannot be skipped. I see very often that people who stutter, you read lots of books and you're very hardworking, obviously, but very often I see that people drop out too soon. They give up too soon, or they don't apply at all. They like reading books, and theory stays theory. It is critically important to be willing to apply what you learn. If you don't apply all the information, regardless of how much you might agree with me, is useless if it is not applied. So at this stage, you learn even more, you apply, and the experience of interacting with others slowly begins to have enjoyment. You now beginning to enjoy you having fun speaking, and it is moving more and more towards becoming your normal lived daily experience. Nothing special. You, when you need to speak, you just open your mouth and you speak. It's nothing special anymore to you. It's kind of becoming more normal and more accepted. And this is how the lived experience is eventually created. And as you make new choices, all the actions, choices, they are inspired. The actions you take are not just random actions that you hope, okay, I'll do this and maybe, just maybe it will work. You take inspired action because these are the exact steps, the exact choices, the exact actions you need to take to give you more flow, to give you more confidence, to cultivate it, to maintain it more. And how do you know this? How do you know what actions to take? You know it from your earlier observation, from developing your self-awareness, from becoming more and more conscious as to how the anatomy of stuttering actually works. And therefore, you kind of eager to experiment because you know that every action will open another door, will help you to discover something else within yourself, help you maybe to experiment with new way of presenting yourself to people, and so on and so forth. So it's everything turns into this enjoyable and exciting game. Eventually, this is what I would like my students to experience: speech as a fun and enjoyable activity, not something to be feared of, not something mysterious, an incurable genetic disease or some exotic illness, but something that you can understand, you can grasp it just like a skill, and you can consciously at will create it, recreate it, enjoying it, and this way reinforcing the positive experience, eventually making flow your daily lived, felt, breathed, manifested, if you like, experience of your life. So application is an absolute must, cannot be skipped, no way. And so you're going up, you continue going up, and more new choices, more sides to your personality that you begin to discover as you have more and more fun. And you eventually come to the point where flow is your daily lived experience. You wake up in the morning, you no longer scan the day for potentially dangerous speaking situations. Speech is there when you need it. And even if you do experience turbulence, this is not the reason for you to become desperate, to feel hopeless, to go back to square one. None of that, because you know too well how to course correct. And this is what you will be naturally choosing to do to help yourself along this journey towards freedom towards freedom of speech, but I believe stuttering is not so much about speaking as it is about our life. It's about living fluently as well as speaking fluently and feeling fluently, you might also say. So I wouldn't be doing this work that I'm doing if I didn't see that there was so much more to the problem than just speech. And it is that other side of things beyond stuttering that really excites me, because in every person that I work with, I see so much potential. I see so much light that wants to break free, that wants to come out. And that's what I get very excited about when I work with people. So here's my method. If you do need any clarification of any points that I have mentioned today, or if you wish to disagree, maybe, please do so. You can always email to me and ask those questions. So offer your constructive criticism, always welcome. Please don't hold back. Please don't be shy. If you do need help, help is always there, but it's you who have to reach out and make the first step. That's how it works. And before I close this session today, I would like to ask you, my friend, if you watch this video, if you are watching my videos on my YouTube channel, Stop Stuttering with Olga, please do subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share these videos, because my mission is primarily to educate people who stutter, not to give them a cure, not to put another label on them how they are incurable and stuff like this. We heard it all already. Enough of that. My mission is different. I want to educate, because I feel, I see that it is primarily education that is urgently needed right now. And more people will hear this information and watch my videos, the sooner we can solve this mysterious problem of stuttering and see more and more people becoming free, becoming themselves, becoming authentic, and hopefully these novel, non-conventional ideas will help speech and language therapists to finally shift their paradigm, their perspective on the problem, and start looking a little bit further than their nose. Start looking beyond stuttering. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you all the best on your journey towards freedom, whatever way you wish to go, and speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.